Good morning. I think it's becoming popular to grow a backbone. Let me explain this. So, I think it's fair to say that about 20% of the population have a backbone. They are decent, they will speak up, they have common sense. I think it's correct, 20%. And then you have 60% who are doing more or less what everybody else is doing. And then you have the insane group, which is about 20%, I would say. To some extent, they are all insane. And they will fight anything that is good. They will fight anything that is working. And they will promote anything that is not working, and that is bad. They will promote it, right? Just look at what they did with the needle. And of course, you will find media there. Most of it, and most of the politicians are in this group. And, the globalist institutions, they're all part of this insane 20%. So we can't expect anything changing in this group. They will not change. So what we are looking at is the 60%. Those who do what everybody else is doing. That's where the change is happening. And there must be some intelligence in this group. They have this ability, many of them, to observe. And they observe those with a backbone now. And they see they were correct. These people with the backbone, they said no to the needle, and they were correct about it. So a lot of them are now moving over. They are basically doing what they have been doing all along. They are doing what everybody else is doing, you see. But it's the popular thing to do now, to become a person with a backbone, And they will say, yeah, I have a backbone too. I'm saying no to the 7th booster, you see. I have a backbone. Right, so that's what I think is going on. We are not alone anymore. What about you? You felt alone at some point, 2021 maybe? I know I did. It was pretty hard. It was almost impossible to reach that 60%. But now it's easier. So it's changing. And of course, those with a backbone, with a real backbone, they will grow confidence. They have grown confidence over these last few years. They said no to the needle, and maybe many of them were uncertain about that decision. But then it proved that this was maybe the best decision they ever made. And this will, of course, boost your confidence. So the people with a backbone, they become louder and more certain about themselves, which is fantastic. So you see this trend now. I don't know the numbers, of course. I would love to know. I saw this poll from Rasmussen. They said this was about the Americans. 53% of the Americans believe that the needle are causing serious side effects, leading to large number of deaths. Right. And it's becoming the thing to do, to say no to it. It's pretty late. But that's where you see the change, of course, in this group. Right. Finally, I want to give you a before and after story. Sort of like these stories. It's about Mike Dixon. It's quite old, this story. I wanted to talk about it earlier, but now I saw something. He said something about Novak Djokovic. So, Mike Dixon is a tennis reporter. He was called Mr. Wimbledon, 59 years old. And in 2022, he talked about Novak Djokovic, and he said, Novak Djokovic could ruin his chances of becoming the greatest of all time by refusing to take the needle. It's a strange hill to die on for a player who is so desperate to be loved. So he totally got it wrong. Stupid statement from this guy, Mike Dixon. Now moving on to present time. The headline is this: Tennis mourns Mike Dixon. So he collapsed and died in Australia. He was there to report on the Australian Open, the tennis tournament. Right. So there you go. Stories like this. It's the stories, see. People hear the stories. Now, of course, also the statistics. But the stories, they work. They will create an emotional effect with people. And they, some of them now say, oh, I wish I had a backbone. I think I have a backbone, see. I'm saying no. From now on, I'm saying no. I have a backbone now. Right. Be good.